Hey YouTube, Keno here. This is a quick video on some numbers that I've come across. I like to do my research on coins and things before I buy and that. And I've just come across some data, and I then cross-reference that data with other sources to make sure that it was correct. And it sort of shocked me a little bit what I come across, and I thought I'd share. I want to start by saying that this video has got some tables in it. I'm not going to spend loads of time talking about the tables, every single number. I've just done them so you can see what I'm saying and why I'm saying it. If you want to pause on the tables and have a proper look, it's up to you. Yeah, so this video is about supply and demand, silver supply and demand, and what I think, where I think it's going, and what I think about it. It's only my views. I say this in all my videos, they're just my views. I'm not telling anyone to do anything because of what I say. I'm very new to all of this still, but I do like to do my research, and if I find something interesting, share it on my channel. So the first table to show you is the total supply for 2012 and 2013 and what it was used for, what physical silver is used for. So in 2012, total mined silver was 792.3 million ounces. The total demand in 2012 was 954.4 million ounces. There's a bit of a shortfall there. We'll go into that again. I've got another table for this in a minute, into more detail. 2013, which is the year I'm going to focus on most because it's most relevant and it's last year, the most recent data that we have. So, 2013, total mined silver was 819.6 million ounces. The total demand for silver in 2013 was around 1.1 billion, as you can see numbers on the chart. So, in 2013, out of the 1.1 billion ounces that was in demand, that they needed, how much went towards coins and bars for people like us, the stackers? Number is 245.6 million ounces. It's a lot of silver for 1 year. Almost double the previous year. So, this got me thinking. I've done previous videos on coin mintages and things like that, and I thought, oh, hold on a minute, that's 245.6 million ounces. But I've done a video on coin mintages, and I mentioned the two coins that you have in front of you. These, the Silver Eagle and the Maple Leaf. So, out of 245.6 million ounces, 43 million of these were made. 43 million. Out of 245.6 million ounces, again this is all 2013, 28 million of these were made. So in total, of the total silver used for coins and bars, in 2013, almost a third was used on these two coins alone. It's a lot of silver. So the next table I'm going to bring up is total supply and demand. This is just to show you a trend in the numbers. As you can see here, it's going back a few years to 2013. Silver production is growing every year. I've seen a lot of videos to say it isn't and everything else, but I have really done the research on this, and please look into it yourselves. I mean, you know, it's not growing massively, and it's not keeping up with demand, but it's not bottoming out. I mean, they're not producing less; they're producing more every year. But as you can also see, the demand is going up every year as well. Well, nearly every year. But demand is always higher than what they're getting out of the ground. Now, they make this up with government stockpiles and scrap silver. Every year they're doing this. They're pouring more and more silver into the gap, the void left after physical silver is mined, and there's still more needed, you know, for the things that are in the previous chart. Industrial use is by far the main, takes most silver, and it's around 60% or something, but you can do your own maths on that. But yeah, so a lot of silver goes into things like cell phones, solar panels use an awful lot, but cell phones, laptops, PCs, and the amount of silver in these, like in the average smartphone, I think it's like 28 cents of silver. It's not worth recovering. They don't recover it, so that just gets thrown away. So if they're making up the shortfall from supply to demand, the scrap silver and government stockpiles, this can't go on forever. I mean, it just can't go on forever. I mean, in my opinion, it can't. So where does that leave us? I think that it will we're looking at a shortage. You know, I'm not going to give them times and when. I mean, I'm not experienced enough to do any of that, but I mean, the numbers are showing a significant growth. I mean, the silver doubled from 2012 to 2013, and you know, it's expected to do that again. These are both expected to double their numbers. So the demand for these, and they are putting it into these, is growing nearly double, not double, just under double, 2012 to 2013. That's off numbers that you can actually see and research, and they are expecting this to go again for 2014, expecting it to double again. So they're not restricting it for silver stackers. They're certainly not making less phones and TVs. They're making these, they're banging them out more than ever, you know, and you know, more and more of the world, you know, becoming more wealthy and able to buy things, and things are more affordable now. Whether that's down to inflation or whatever, that's not the point of this video. But you know, just about anyone can afford a nice flat screen TV, a decent phone, a laptop, and a pad. You know, it's nearly every household has got one. So they're not restricting the silver that goes into the coins and bars, obviously, because they're still banging them out. As I said, it's expected to double this year again, as it did in 2012, 2013. And they're definitely still making more TVs and stuff. So, where does this leave me? I'll go back to the two coins in front of me. My thoughts on these two coins have changed dramatically because of the numbers that I've just put in this video. So much so, this is not going to be part of my stack, and this is a bit controversial, and I'm sure that people will have comments on this, but these made up nearly a third of all silver in coins, bars, bullion of 2013, and by the looks of things, it's going to be more than that this year. So what do I think that means? I think that these coins are spot value silver, and yes, they are some of the cheaper coins to buy, but are they going to be collectible in years to come? In my opinion, no. I mean, the minute you buy these, you lose money if you're not getting them for spot. There's so many out there. Designs are the same, or pretty much the same as what they have been. There's so many of these out there. They just, in my opinion, can't be collectible. I mean, they can't. You know, the 2014, if I had 100 of these, I don't think that, you know, they're going to do that well in 2020 or 2040, because there are so many of them. They make up a large proportion of what we buy as stackers. So yeah, just for me, I'm not going to be buying these anymore, and that may come as a shock. I've done a video on does every pound and dollar count, and it does to me. But a few comments on there, you know, made me think, and you know, we are paying premium for certain coins, i.e. the Perth Mint stuff and other things like that, to expect a premium back. And I mean, if you're in the UK, and I buy my silver very cheap from Europe, but I'm still paying £2–3 over spot for these coins. And in my opinion, there's so many of them, these are as good as, yep, you're gonna like this, but as good as scrap value. I don't think there's any value. They're going to hold their value. I don't think they can hold their value with the sheer numbers being banged out. And it's not just about the numbers. It's about the percentage of available silver being used for coins and bullion, and the percentage of that silver going into these. You know, so around a third of all silver in 2013 went into these two coins. That's a lot of silver. So for me, yeah, I'm going to be trying to buy as close to spot, as people like to call it, but as close as I can to, you know, base price, but more collectible coins. I mean, you know, that video, does every pound dollar counts? Yes, it does, but I don't count these now as collectible coins. I just don't. I think that there's too many out there. So as far as the silver shortage goes, where do I stand on that? Well, the numbers are pretty. They are. No, the numbers showing that there's going to be something. It has to come to an end. You know, they cannot continue. Well, they're not continuing to scrap. I mean, they're just getting larger scrap out of certain things and out of jewellery and things like that. Bars, people are putting back in. But the sheer amount of cell phones, TVs, solar panels, and everything else is out there. You know, they're not going to be recovering silver from that are just going into the dump, into, you know, landfill. You know, being buried in the ground. So I don't think they can continue to make up this loss. The amount that's mined and the actual supply itself. I don't think that they can continue to do that. So What I think about that, I think that people like me who are getting into this now are joining the tail end of the silver rush, if you like, as you like to call it, or whatever, you know, of the silver stacking. I think that we are at the tail end, and I think we're going to find it more and more difficult to do well in years to come. Someone been doing this for 10 years, I think you're laughing, you know. Whichever way the silver shortage affects the price and the market and the amount of coins being produced and that, I think that we're going to feel it harder. The people that have been doing this for a few months to a year, you know, us new stackers. So yeah, I mean, again, I've just done this video on my thoughts on some numbers that I've done. I'm going to provide the information in the comment in the description where I've got the information, a couple of places that I found it. Yeah, so if you've got any thoughts on it, I mean, this is obviously quite a heavy hitting video as far as for me, you know. It really has changed my idea and perception of this stacking silver. I'm no longer going to be you know, just going for the cheapest coins. My buying and purchasing of silver now will be based on research on mintages and how many coins are actually sold, how quick they're selling. I've done that video on the Kookaburra mintage, how quick they're selling. That's how I'm going to base everything that I do now, is around that, not about buying as cheap as possible. Yes, I want to buy very cheap, but I don't mind paying that a little bit more now after looking at what I've said. There are too many of these out there for me, and they're going to be more every year. So yeah, what's your thoughts? I'd love to hear them. If you've got any ideas on any of this, where do you think these charts can take it? Where do you think that, you know, the continued amount less that they produce, the demand that they're producing, where's that going to take us? You know, or eventually, I mean, you know, we're small. We're like 22% of the market. You know, are they going to start pushing us out in years to come? You know, I'm sure that the big companies, you know, they buy a lot of silver for their products. You know, maybe they're going to start favouring them. Do you think that's going to happen? What do you think is going to happen? And what do you think this, what I've presented in this video means? I'd love to know, because I honestly don't know. I make these videos to educate myself as well, and I do. The comments that you leave are great, and they help me, and I'm sure they help others. So, yeah, I'd like to know where you stand on all of this. Thank you for watching. This is Kino. Goodbye.